Hello, Hope Point Church. Hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to seeing you all soon. I'm just going to read you a couple of verses from a psalm that I read today that I find very refreshing. This is what it reads. It says, "How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts. My soul longs, yes, faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh sing for joy to the living God." You know, the guy that wrote this, or the woman perhaps, they obviously loved the presence of God. They loved the house of God. In those days it was the temple. And I know that for them it was a place where they could go and hear from God and they could enjoy his presence. We know that today God doesn't dwell in buildings. He dwells in us, dwells in our hearts by faith. He's come to abide by his Spirit in us. It's Christ in us, the hope of glory. It's something so precious about being able to gather and worship as a body of believers, enjoying his presence, singing, worshipping him, just being in this place and just enjoying him. You know, it's the one thing I know I've missed the most. There's some things I've missed a little, maybe miss going to this is with all the lockdown and all the restrictions. There's a few things I've missed. There's one thing that I've really missed, and that's church. It's because there's nothing like being here in the presence of God with others as we worship him, as we sing, as we hear his voice. He just presents himself in such a supernatural way, and there's something so special about that. And in just a few weeks, we're going to be back here again, only a few weeks away. We're expecting it to be the 12th of July is the expected date we're back. Perhaps they'll let us in a bit quicker. We'll get the green light by the 5th of July. Whatever it is, 5th of July or the 12th of July, we're going to be here. We're going to be ready. And I just wanted to share today, just give you a bit of an idea of what it's going to look like for us to be back. First thing is our services have to be limited. In this space we have to 80 people. So to make sure we can all get to church, we're going to have two services. Each of them is going to run for an hour. First one will be at our usual time of 9:30. It'll go for an hour till 10:30. The first group will leave over the next little bit and we'll be back in here again at 11 o'clock for our second service. And that'll go for an hour as well. They'll both be the same preacher, the same team that will lead us in worship, but it'll be a different group of us. The main difference will be that the first service we will have our kids' church and our creche in the rear hall like we always have, and that will run for the entire 1 hour, but we won't have a kids' church or a creche in the second service. That's so we will have room for us all. We want to ensure that there's the maximum amount of adults that can fit into the actual service, and we want to ensure that there's no visitors that need to be turned away. I really believe that at this time we are going to grow. There's more people looking to come back to church in these times. So if you have children, I would suggest you come to the first service at 9:30, obviously because there's a kids' church and there's a creche. You'll just need to drop off your children first in the rear hall. They will be registered there, and then make your way around to the front hall here and join us for the worship service here at 9:30. When it finishes at 10:30, you just need to leave and go and collect your children. You're welcome to stay out there for a little bit more, let the children play. You can spend a bit of time there, of course, but the main thing is that our volunteers and our workers will pack up and leave there by 11 o'clock to be in here for the second service. Anyone is welcome to come along to the second service. As I said, the only difference will be there'll be no kids' church or creche. Couple of things maybe you need to keep in mind is you will need to register for the first service because we expect that will likely be the one that may fill up more. And obviously those that have young children will get preference for the first service. And obviously, as I said, we want to leave space for new people as well. If you are attending the second service, you will not need to register, as in before the service, so we know you're coming. But for the first service, we'll probably do a simple thing like sending out a text during the week before and let us know if you're wanting to come to the first service. There will be no cafe. We will leave that for down the track a bit as we see how things go. There will be no communion during the service. We encourage you to do that in your connect groups. Parking, we ask you if you come to the first service, just park in the car park so you can drop off your children. If you're coming to the second service, just keep going down the road that little bit to the other grassed car park that we have. You'll see the entrance there just past the office and the manse. We will be doing social distancing, of course. Chairs have been spaced out, or the seating. You obviously couples can still sit together. If you're from the same household, we expect you should be able to be on the same bench. We will need to keep a register of names of those that attend. As a record, they will be kept private, and we just encourage you when you arrive to listen to the hosting team who will give you directions for the day. But we're looking forward to being back in church. Above everything else, we want to do it safe, but we want to do it anointed. We want to have the presence of God here. We want to come back and be strengthened and enjoy fellowship and just stir our hearts for the mission that God's got for us in times like these, to see lost people reached for Jesus. Just encourage you, give us a call if you've got any questions. We will keep in touch through texting and through Facebook as well. Looking forward to seeing you all on the 12th of July or perhaps the 5th, but it's going to be soon and it's going to be good. God bless you all.